Hello and welcome back. As I said, I'm going to be doing some book reviews. And while I finish reading my current book that I'm going to review, almost done, I'll have that review out next week. I thought I would discuss my book, now my first book. So obviously I don't think it's probably fair for me to review it, but I do want to talk about it. So this is my first little book that I wrote. Going vegan, vegetarian, or plant-based, a simple, realistic, and practical guide. And just a little backstory, this picture here, I am an organic gardener. That is my side job. And I tend to garden. It is a private garden. And that is a picture. It's got, the garden has raised beds, cinder block beds. And these are onions. And this is nasturtium, which is an edible flower, and the leaves and the flower are edible. So that is, it's hard with the reflection. Anyway, that's what my book looks like, and that's what the picture is. So why did I write a book? Well, I have been vegan for about 10 years, plant-based vegan. Before that, I was vegetarian, and before that, I just had the SAD diet, standard American diet. So the reason I wrote the book is that I found that a lot of my friends were always asking me, you know, they would say, I want to eat healthy, but I don't know how to cook healthy food. So I personally am from the South, from Texas, and butter is God and sugar is queen and fat and meat are in everything. You can't make beans without ham or a slab of bacon. Like every single thing we cook in the South traditionally, with soul food, some Cajun food, just some Southern cooking, it's just unhealthy. And so if you've lived here your whole life, you really may not know how to prepare anything healthy. So a lot of my friends were like, can you come to my kitchen? Can you show me how to cook this? Can you, because I would post pictures or whatever. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a book for my friends, and it's going to be just like a very simple guide, nothing too difficult, nothing judgmental, a step-by-step, do what you can, kind of an easy guide to you just incorporating more plants into your diet. I will say that there are tons of books out there on cooking vegan, about switching to a plant-based diet, and they have beautiful pictures, but a lot of them have recipes that are just they're really advanced, at least, unless that's like your thing, like that's your thing, that's awesome. But I just wanted it to be super practical. So let me tell you what some of my chapters are and how I attempted to make this practical. And then I will also review the one thing I definitely did wrong, maybe two. But anyway, okay, so chapter 1 is my food story. That just kind of talks about why I switched to a plant-based diet. Number 2, my basic elements, my minimalist pantry, just gives you some very simple elements that you can include in your pantry. And if you have those elements, then you can make almost all of these dishes. So it's the same as my wardrobe philosophy. So I have mostly black clothes, and then I have some colored accents. So pretty much everything in my closet goes with everything else. That's the same way my pantry is. Chapter 3, this, not that. So that chapter is intended to just sort of, if you were going to make a burger, here's the alternative. If you were going to make a pasta with meat sauce, here's the alternative. It basically says, eat the way you've always eaten, but then you can just replace this ingredient with that. That's why it's called this, not that. The next chapter is odds and ends, just like bits of information, some recipes. It has a good guide on like egg replacement. There's a little bit of a guide on, there's so many different plant-based milks now. So there's a guide on like kind of the different uses and the different tastes and textures for those on occasion. Chapter 5 is just some really interesting recipes. So before I went, vegan, I guess I would cook a meat, a vegetable, and maybe a bread, some combination like that. And everything honestly was kind of boring. And once I switched to a plant-based diet, oh my gosh, I just learned to cook all sorts of different ethnic foods and with different seasonings and different flavors. And I included some of those recipes in chapter 5. And then my last chapter, chapter 6, in the real world, it just talks about very practical things. If you bring your lunch to work, if you need snacks, there's just a list of very practical things that you can do. It also talks about ordering at a restaurant. If you're vegan, it talks about family relationships and friend relationships, because I definitely found out that diet is somehow tied to culture and relationships. And when you change your diet, it does change your relationships with people around you. And I had to learn to navigate that. And so there's some tips in there. And so what would I have done differently? Well, I think I would have put an index in the back, because honestly, I literally use this all the time. This is just today I said, I want to make some keto muffins. I had just made some fig preserves from the garden that I tend, and I said I want to make some keto muffins, and so I turned to keto muffins. So the problem with the book is that I didn't put an index in it, so you just have to flip through it, because so you might have to bookmark or whatever. And the other thing is, so I'm not a super recipe follower, and even my own cookbook, I don't follow the recipes. I generally do, but I add, and so I will say that it's not as detailed as some other cookbooks, but also in the book, I encourage you to explore. And if you don't like this, put that in it. If you don't like this spice, put that spice in it. A lot of my ingredients are blank to taste, and that just means you put what you want in there. Some people love garlic and they want tons of it, and some people don't, and some people like onions and some people don't. So I guess the whole point of the book is just to be free, just to explore food, to be creative with it, and to learn new ways to prepare dishes. So this is not really a review, but that's kind of why I wrote the book. It is on Amazon. Actually, I'm going to put the link down whatever this is on, my WordPress or my Facebook or Instagram. The link will be somewhere lurking around if you want to check it out. It is available in paperback and on Kindle. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining me, and I will have a book review next time of a book that's not my own. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.